Hello, everybody. Accureye here, and you're probably wondering what the heck happened here. Well, I was trying to get ready to go into adventure mode with Mr. Weber here, and I ended up getting attacked by a few nightmare creatures. So, yeah. Also, I was trying to clear out the doorway just so that you could see Maxwell's door, and yeah, here we are in the adventure mode doorway. But yeah, I wanted to talk about some items that are not completely necessary before we get started, but could be very efficient and help you with getting ready for adventure mode. First of all, you probably want to consider getting yourself gold items. All the gold tools, the gold pickaxe, the gold axe, the gold shovel. These are all going to be tools that you're probably going to need for adventure mode. And I would highly suggest that you get them. Mostly because, again, they are very, very good. Another item would be the Tam O'Shanter, another necessary possible item. You'll need your spears. If you can make them, make the Knight Armor and Dark Sword, but the Knight Armor and the Dark Sword are not absolutely necessary. And of course, make yourself the Walking Cane if you need to. It's not necessary to make the Walking Cane, but yeah. With that being said, you're about to enter the adventure mode, and yeah, we're going to go in. We're going to go in, everybody. So off we go into adventure mode. And unknown. Now, of course, adventure mode, we have maybe learned a lot of recipes and a lot of items, but let's face it, once you enter adventure mode, those recipes and items are no longer known to you, and it's basically like starting a fresh new adventure or a fresh new survival, which means that all of your adventure mode items are gone. And yeah, King of Winter, everybody, is our first map. Oh, you found my portal, did you? You'd think you'd learn by now. Let's try something a little bit more challenging, shall we? Yeah, alright, Maxwell. So, here we are in adventure mode. We, of course, start with a Divining Rod, and it's basically like a brand new survival. Unfortunately for us, we ended up in a winter survival map, which is not very helpful to us. In fact, this is probably one of the worst maps to start off with if you are just doing your very first adventure to unlock Maxwell and or Wes. After all, this is kind of a dual task. You can unlock Wes and Maxwell through adventure mode. Wes can be a little bit of a difficult challenge in himself to find, as even in this adventure mode and this playthrough, I actually did not ever find Wes at all. But yeah, you're going to see me burn things a lot. I do a lot of things in this particular playthrough and this in adventure mode here that are not particularly normal for my normal survival. One of the main things is, of course, burning items like trees. Burning items like trees and stuff are not absolutely necessary. In fact, I would say that you shouldn't burn trees, nor should you pick flowers or whatever if you get into adventure mode. But in this case, or if you're in normal survival. But in this case, I do make an exception to adventure mode by, of course, burning flowers, or burning trees and grass tufts, and even just little twigs to stay warm. After all, this is winter, and we are going to be going through a winter survival for the very first, give or take minute or run, or for the give or take run of this particular, adventure. And yeah, one of the main things you'll see me do is pick up grass, twigs, and all the normal things. Now, the one thing about adventure mode, for everyone who doesn't want to know, is there's always a caveat in adventure mode. Sometimes the caveat is something as simple as, for instance, no twigs. Sometimes you'll have something as difficult as you won't have, rocks, gold, or flint widely available to you. In this particular adventure mode, in this particular map, when I got set up, I think now that I'm reviewing the footage, the caveat for this one is the fact that there were very, very little twigs and very, very minimalistic twigs. Thus meaning that it was going to be hard for me to find twigs all around the adventure mode map. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and cut a little ahead of the game. You're going to see me do this a lot, where I'm going to be trying to stay warm. This is one caveat thing that you're going to need to learn for adventure mode, is how to stay warm. Because again, max mode will give you some items possibly to help you, but those items are not going to be helping you throughout the entirety of the beginning of your survival for adventure mode. In fact, adventure mode can be very, very difficult for new players or players who are just going through it for the first time, because it truly tests do you know how to, of course, deal with winter survival? Do you know how to deal with darkness? Do you know how to deal with all of the little caveat items? And yeah, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to cut ahead, as most of what you see me doing here is just, wandering the island, trying to look for twigs, trying to look for small little things that can help me just get through the basics of survival. In this case, like I said, one of the caveats of this map, now that I'm reviewing the footage, was the fact that there were very, very minimalistic twigs. Thus meaning that I was going to have a very hard time finding the twigs that I needed to build just the simplest of items, like, for instance, pickaxes, axes, and even shovels. But yeah, let me go ahead and cut ahead to when we get a little more into the interesting parts of the adventure mode, as I am mostly walking around and looking around through this whole part. So I will meet up with you as soon as we get to one of the more interesting parts of adventure mode. Alright, so I've been at it for a while, and as you can see here, I thought this would be a good idea to point out one thing that I normally do, especially even in normal survival, which is, exploring at night. Exploring at night can help you cover maps very, very quickly and very, very well. And you'll see that I continue, since this is a winter survival, I'm continuing to, of course, burn items that or should I say, are not necessary. And in this case, I'm burning more trees, I'm picking up twigs and stuff like that, because again, as I noticed when I was playing through adventure mode in this one, like I said, the caveat here was that there were not many twigs or saplings that I could pick for items. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, I'm still exploring the map, and of course, I'm building torches and just trying to stay warm while, picking up as much food, some flowers, and whatever other items I could while exploring the map. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to when I do run into a point where, to help you understand adventure mode and what the divining rod or driving rod is good for. Alright, so here we are, continuing our little adventure mode, and I've been exploring for quite some time. I still have not actually found anything, but here's where the divining rod or dividing rod could become, or will come in handy. As you can see, even though I don't use the divining rod here, you can already see the items that we're looking for, or at least one of the 4 items that we're looking for, which is the ring thing. Now, we're looking for all these 4 items, as you'll see here. And throughout this map, you're seeing me just kind of keeping warm, trying to stay warm. And here you'll see me pick up the divining rod or pick up the ring thing for the divining rod, which is one of the many items that we are looking for. And as you can see here, here's where we run into our first obstacle of the map. And, I was looking around. I thought I'd just continue to look around to see if there was anything I could pick up. And I thought here was a good time to warm up, just because, you never know when you're going to go cold. Even though in this map, I did get the thermal stone, you want to stay warm. And here's where I kind of was like, okay, I'm going to start gathering up items that I need for making some of the tools of the trade. Because, yes, here I have as you can see, I have a pickaxe, and I already have an axe as usual, and of course I have food. Food is always important in this in adventure mode, because again, you're never going to be creating conventional food items like crockpots and whatnot. You're mostly going to be creating items that are like, built around just normal peasant food, or normal starting food items, normal starting items. You're not going to ever really run into a period where you're creating normal, normal or crockpot dishes like meatballs or whatever. I mean, while you could take the time to learn meatballs, you could take the time to make jerky and whatnot. In my personal opinion and in my personal thought, you're probably going to be wanting to just get through adventure mode as quickly as possible. So, yeah. But here, you'll see me using the divining rod just to kind of check to make sure that there was no other items around and there were no other, little, of course, branches nearby. And obviously here I didn't hear anything, and I'm sorry if there's no in-game sound, but obviously I had to use my headset here just to hear everything and make sure that I found everything I needed. But here's where I pick up a few more flowers. You'll see those flowers there, and I probably picked them up at some point, or I do try to pick them up at some point just to try and keep up my sanity, because one of the main things here is you're going to be looking at sandy drainage and stuff like that. And obviously here in this pig village as Weber, since I can't befriend pigs, obviously I'm just here to try and pick up the food and the berries. But yeah, as it is, we decide to move on, and I'll meet you guys back when we do decide to conquer that one obstacle, everyone, as I continue to stay warm here. Alright, so I was doing a lot of wandering here, and as you guys are seeing, we cut back in with me coming back to the first big obstacle in our way, which of course is the rocks here. And I decided to build a little fire here because I needed to create wood get my logs and stuff so I could create some firewood or some fires, just to get past this obstacle. And here I decided to also rearrange some stuff so that I have the least amount of logs in the front and the most amount of logs in the back. And here I'm just kind of, as you can see, mining the rocks and gathering the flint, as we have to get past this little obstacle here, which, again, not exactly the easiest thing to get past, as it is. I mean, this is one of the first few challenges you will run into, especially when it comes down to just getting through the game. And here, as you can see, I do decide to rearrange my stuff, and I'm basically just going to create another fire here just so that I can get through. I mean, I know you guys just saw me create one fire, and you're probably thinking, Accureye, why did you just create another fire if your first one's right nearby? And as it is, these obstacles can be hard to get past, so obviously you want to make sure that you can stay warm as you're getting through this. Now, since this didn't have gold or anything, I decided not to do more than just two rocks so I could just walk through. If this was gold or anything like that, I would have considered, of course, just passing or breaking down more of these rocks. But obviously, because of they were just rocks, I decided to only mine two so I could get through. And here, as you saw me use the divining rod just for a second, and that was just so I could see if we were getting close, which we were. And of course, here I'm going to continue to get warm and, of course, continue to progress the game. So I will, of course, meet you guys back as soon as something else interesting happens as I continue to explore this world and the map. Okay, so after quite a bit of exploring, I finally found the gold that I needed to get started. And as you'll see here, since I found the gold that I needed to get started, I decided that now would be a perfect time to make a temporary camp. So you see that I made a science machine here, and this is because, like I said, I finally found the gold that I needed to make, items and some of the basic temporary items like a shovel and stuff. So you'll see in here that I make a shovel and stuff, but, again, this is now a point where it's going to be much easier for me to gather twigs and stuff and just easily find, more twigs to build all my, gold tools and other items. But as you'll see here, this is where the basic beginning survival starts and where, you really are going to start seeing progress. So as you'll see here, I start making the stuff for a science machine and stuff, and even like my spear, which again is one of your beginner fighting items, or if not the only fighting item you will have in the entirety of the adventure mode. And of course, I also decided to make a log suit because, again, you're going to see why in a little bit and near the end why I decided to make a log suit. But this is where I finally decided that it's about perfect time to really start making a temporary camp and just in general do all the basic items like making a science machine, making the alchemy engine, and just in general getting my basic items on hand. As you'll see, I continue to make all these items, and you'll see what the tools of the trade that I make in just a bit. What tools of the trade in just a bit I make to really in general just make things better. And as you'll see, I continue to stay warm. This is one of the main things y'all have to do, especially in this winter type level. But allow me to continue and meet you back as soon as I start creating some of the tools of the trade that I normally will create for adventure mode. We have returned, and you catch me in the middle of a hunt. As food was becoming scarce, I decided to go on a little bit of a hunt for what would hopefully be a koalefant. In this case, I got lucky and it was a koalefant. So I've decided to hunt this incredible beast for the food, as after all, you guys survive, and this is one of the main tools of survival. And here, usually I try to corner most of these beasts into the edge of the map, but in this case I kind of caught him right as he was on the way back around to me, so I just ended up attacking. And of course I'm hunting this incredible beast for the meat and the koalefant trunk, as I will not be making a winter vest or anything like that. But I needed to get some food for my unfortunate survival. After all, I was, as you can probably tell, I'm starving here. I'm literally not doing well when it comes to food. I ate all my food already, and I'm growing a lovely beard for winter, which, of course, for those of you who don't know, Weber can grow a silky smooth beard, which helps him with insulation during winter. Of course, you're probably thinking, Accureye, what happened to all these trees here? Well, I ended up starting a big forest fire. And, that was my accident. But anyway, as you'll see here, I'm continuing to grab my gold and stuff for my gold tools and whatnot. But I will continue to meet you guys when we run into something more incredible. As, after all, there's nothing really so-called incredible happening here, except for the fact that, we've been walking around for a while. I mean, I'm still looking for the 4 items that we need to collect for, of course, our items. I have already collected, as you can see, one of the other 4 items, which is the box thing. And, you'll find the box thing and stuff like that in different areas. Of course, if you have the Divine Rod will tell you exactly where it is. But, of course, here I'm just kind of staying warm. I decided to come back to my temporary camp so I could eat my food, my delicious meal, and cook me some delicious steaks. Because, after all, steaks are survival food here. The koalefant makes great steaks for your survival. And, of course, I will meet you guys back when something else interesting happens. Or, of course, when we find the next item. After all, we have to, continue to collect things, and I have to continue to explore the rest of these maps for, some of our missing components. But, I will meet you guys back when I find the next thing. Like, of course, right here, I'm picking up green caps, and you're probably thinking, Accureye, why are you digging up these green caps? Well, for those of you who don't know, cooked green caps can, of course, restore your sanity for, I believe it's a tick of health. 1 tick of health equals, I think it's 12 or 10 to 12 sanity, thus making, it a great item to keep on hand, especially when you are going, quote-unquote, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But anyway, with that being said, I will meet you guys back when we find the next box thing, or, of course, something interesting, as, of course, I want to make sure that you guys see at least most of what we are picking up and stuff. Anyway, I will meet you guys back when something interesting happens. Alright, so we are here, and as you can probably tell, I've gone a little insane. Well, I went insane, and you're probably thinking, Accureye, what the heck made you want to go insane? Well, in this game, you have to go insane, or there are sanity checks. As you can see, this obelisk here is down. And you're probably thinking, what the heck does that mean, Accureye? I never have seen these obelisks before, and what do they do? Well, these obelisks, especially in adventure mode, are basically checks. Sometimes you have to be super sane in order to get through these obelisks. Other times, like this one, you have to be insane to make it through the obelisk. But don't worry, I have my cooked green caps ready to go. So, as you can see, when I went back there, you pretty much saw me go back to saneness, and yeah, the obelisk went down, and that's pretty much normal for, of course, when you are, trying to go through the obelisk and stuff. But you're probably thinking, Accureye, what are you doing? Why have you not created all those gold tools and stuff that you said you were going to create? And it does happen. I decided, though, as I was kind of walking, exploring all this area and stuff, and walking, of course, I decided that it wouldn't be perfect timing to make my alchemy engine there. I wanted to find McTusk. And you're probably thinking, Accureye, what do you mean? Well, when it comes down to it, McTusk was, of course, and is, of course, a way, of course, to make the walking king. And because this is King of Winter, I, knew it was perfect time to look for the McTusk and stuff. So, of course, as it is, I ended up just not creating my alchemy engine in choice of looking for McTusk and creating my alchemy engine there. But as you can see, with the divining rod, or the divining rod, we are actually close to an item, and as you'll see, there it is, the crank thing, which is the third out of the 4 items on our list. This third out of our 4 items on our list does make it to where we are just one step closer to, of course, getting out of this adventure mode. And as you'll have seen, we want to leave adventure mode as soon as we can if we are playing this for the first time. Now, if you are looking for Wes, King of Winter is one of the 4 maps that could potentially spawn Wes. Now, there is no guarantee that Wes will be on any of your first adventure mode run through. In fact, it could take multiple adventure modes to run through this in order to find Wes. Unfortunately, you never know. You never, of course, know when it comes down to it. But yeah, I will meet you guys back as soon as something interesting happens, or maybe after we found our 4th item, or after we found our 4th item. It all depends, because, of course, as you may already notice, this video has been going longer than our usual ones. So I will meet you guys back as soon as we found our 4th item, or we're nearing the end of this adventure, of this map in adventure mode. So yeah, I will meet you guys back then. Okay, we are back, and I just had lost one of my torches. So, of course, I had to invigorate my torches, and hey, look at that. We just found a metal potato thing. So, yeah, that's the 4th item on our list to find. And then, as you will have probably thought and noticed, yeah, it's time to get out of here, because, yeah, that's the 4 items that we have needed to get out of this area. Those are the items that we need to get out of adventure mode and to, of course, get out of here. And, of course, as you'll probably have noticed, around this point, you probably have already been thinking, Accureye, what happened to the walking cane? I thought you were looking for the walking cane. And I was. And, I was very unsuccessful. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful. And, yeah, we found a walrus camp. I tried to attack the walrus camp. No dice, no luck there. I tried to find the cane. I tried to find it, the tusk and everything. And, unfortunately, like I said, I just could not find it. I was really feeling unlucky here. And unfortunately, that's just it. We were really unlucky in the end of the day. We just did not find any luck with the McTusk, the McTusk, of course, item. We just could not find the tusk at all. We were just super unlucky for the most part. And here I find Chester, and you don't really need Chester. Let's put it this way. You actually really don't need Chester unless you really want to have something to help you, of course, carry more items. Again, Chester not really necessary. So, of course, you don't really have to, of course, yeah, grab Chester. But I grabbed Chester here anyway, just because, I saw him and I thought, maybe he'll carry a few extra items for me. Never really actually used him intentionally, so, yeah. But as you'll see here, I actually never really got around to creating any of my gold tools or whatever. And I mean, it was just because I was really on the verge of looking just for the walrus tusk and everything. But obviously, no dice on the tusk, no dice on finding what I need to find. But anyway, I will meet you guys back as soon as we are building the portal to get out of here. So yeah, I will meet you guys back then. Okay, so here we are back again, and once again we are just getting a little warmed up. Now, you're probably thinking, Accureye, what were you doing here? Well, I thought maybe I'd get lucky and find a McTusk camp. And unfortunately, no dice. I didn't find a McTusk camp. But we are having a full moon, which is lovely because I don't have to waste my torch or anything. And I was trying to figure out a plan of attack for, of course, these clockworks, as you all see here. And, I was like just gathering up some extra items just so that I could take them into the next world. But, we did build the portal thing, as you'll see here. And, of course, I put on the divining rod. So, here I'm deciding what I'm going to take. And in this case, I decided I wanted to take the thermal stone, twigs, gold, and, of course, I ended up getting cold here. So, I was like, oh, crap, I got to warm up. And, of course, I'm just deciding what items I need to take. So I took the twigs and the gold, as you guys saw. And then I kind of decided, you know what? I'm going to take the meat just in case I need food. Because, let's face it, I'm going to be a little hungry. And I was just checking to make sure I got the items I need, which I did. But unfortunately, I realized that there was a bug in the console edition of Don't Starve Adventure Mode. And I had to save and quit, which is exactly what happened here. It was that I saved and quit just to make it to where I could get out of here. Because, after all, Adventure Mode just, I don't know when this happened, but obviously it's a small little bug that, you have to work around with. And the only way to work around it was to, of course, save and quit. But, I mean, hopefully Clay will fix this eventually on console edition. But, let's go ahead and get out of here. So, here I'm back, and as you'll see here, I decided to make sure that we could journey onwards, and yes, we do. So, we will journey onwards and continue our adventure on the next one. But with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me today, and I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I am live on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or I'm live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure for about 2 to 4 hours usually. And I've also lately been live on Monday, Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, and of course Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, as I said. Monday and Tuesday I will be live for about 2 to 3 hours. Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday I will be live for about 2 to 4 hours. But yeah, with that being said, also you can catch me live on Twitch on Monday and Tuesday at around 11:30 p.m. PST or around midnight PST, depending on the timing. And of course, depending on, when I am able to, of course, after I've uploaded the video, as I do upload videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday for all of you, usually around 11:30 p.m. PST to midnight PST. And of course, Friday and Sunday are always going to be bonus streams, so you never know if I'm going to do a bonus stream or not. But, with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today. Thank you for watching today's video, and until the next one, everybody, as I was saying, this is Accureye signing out and saying, farewell, everyone.